What's going on, y'all, man? It's Shotty the Generator. I got another one for y'all today, man. We finna see why Matt J. Gates Gate I can't say his name. Matt asked DEA chief point blank why marijuana is still classified as a Schedule One drug. We finna find it out right now. It's cause they racist. That's all.
Mr. Gates.
So one reason people die from fentanyl is because they get addicted to opioids and get poisoned, right?
Yes.
And one reason that people get addicted to opioids is because they get prescribed opioids and that prescription turns into an addiction, right?
So I would
100%.
absolutely say the beginning of the opioid epidemic started with unlawful prescribing.
Right. Not everyone, but that's a pretty large swath of the problem. And one of the reasons people get prescribed opioids is to deal with chronic pain, right?
Yes.
And throughout the country, there are people who use medical marijuana to treat chronic pain as an alternative to opioids, right?
I know a number of states have passed laws, yes, related to medical marijuana.
So I guess my question is this. Why has the Biden administration not taken marijuana off the list of Schedule I drugs?
On the game.
So, Congressman, as you know, the president had sent a letter to the Secretary of HHS and to the Attorney General to ask for the schedule.
To ask, right? The reason why I'm gonna tell you right now before she tell you this bullshit ass answer. So the reason why is because of money, right? The military, no, it's not even the military. It's the prison industrial complex. They make, you know what I'm saying? It's a big word for saying all the prisons in America, right? They make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Every prison make about $30,000 per year per person. So, if we got a bunch of people that's in jail for a long time, that's a lot of money for them. So what does America love to do? They love to put people in jail for motherfucking weed, nigga. Marijuana. Yeah, man. For real. Like, it's crazy. So let's see.
Descheduling process to begin. It's now with HHS. They are in that process. They start, then they send it to DEA. We have not received it yet.
That's encouraging. When do you expect to receive that recommendation from HHS?
I have not heard of a timeline from them, so I don't know.
Well, that's unsettling, isn't it? I mean, when you don't even know a timeline, it doesn't really make it seem like something's front of mind.
We have constant conversations with HHS and with FDA, but we have not been given a specific timeline.
Will you leave this briefing and encourage HHS to give you a timeline on getting that information to you?
I will ask.
Thank you. And when you receive the work product from HHS, is there any basis that DEA would have to oppose the descheduling of marijuana as a Schedule I drug?
So the way the scheduling process works under the law and the regulations is HHS does a review. They then send it to DEA. We then do what is known as an 8-factor review. There's an opportunity for public comment as well. And so we go through that part of the process. And so obviously we start with what HHS has provided us. We then go through our own review and a public comment process, and then we come to a scheduling decision.
And just share with me, with the country, what your perspective is on what the outcome of that should be.
Well, because I couldn't prejudge it at this point in time, I have not seen.
Do you have a personal view on whether or not marijuana should be a Schedule I drug?
As the head of the DEA, I will ultimately be responsible for signing off on what the scheduling is.
Will you consider in the analysis that's being done the studies that
Y'all heard she just told the truth and lied at the same time. She said, let me play that one more time so we can hear that clearly.
should be a Schedule I drug?
As the head of the DEA, I will ultimately be responsible for signing off on what this.
As the head of DEA, she will ultimately be
the DEA, I will ultimately be responsible for signing off on
signing off on that thing. So she the one who's responsible for taking it off the list.
What the scheduling is?
Will you consider in the analysis that's being done the studies that pretty extensively show that in states where there is medical marijuana access, there's a lower rate of prescribing these opioids that then can lead to addiction, which then can lead to the deaths that we've seen.
You have my full commitment, Congressman, that I will keep an open mind. I will look at all the research. I expect that we will get, additional
No, that was a no. I'll keep an open mind. That means no.
public comment or research that comes in, and I will look at all of it.
And Mr. Chairman, I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record a study conducted by two PhDs, Marie Hayes and Mark Brown, that looked at the prescribing of opioids in states with medical marijuana programs, and indeed found that states with medical cannabis laws had a 24.8 lower mean annual opioid overdose mortality rate.
Without objection.
I really hope we get this done. We're 2 years into the Biden administration, and I honestly had hoped that by now we would have already descheduled marijuana from the Schedule 1 list. Maybe talk to me a little bit about the challenges that DEA has in this patchwork system where marijuana is federally illegal, but then hemp is allowed under the Farm Bill, and then you got people operating under the color of law in all these states. I mean, doesn't that seem like the least effective way to go about this?
If I could speak more generally about our diversion program, which is the unit that controls all of the scheduling.
So I'm gonna restart that question, but they not finna do that because of the money. Why does DEA like? How much money do they make from just catching niggas selling weed? I'd say it's in the billions, probably.
Way to go about this?
If I could speak more generally about our diversion program,
Maybe
which
almost
is
trillions.
the unit that controls all of the scheduling, all these questions you're raising. This is an important part of our work at DEA right now, is to look at the existing regulations and the existing processes.
But it's hard, right? I want to draw from you the obvious admission that different states having different programs, and then the federal government having sort of an incongruent regulatory system with the hemp law and Schedule 1 being maintained, that is confusing.
And we deal with it, Congressman, all the time.
And it makes it harder, right? The fact that it's patchwork does probably make the job of DEA agents harder.
Even look at xylazine right now, which is something we're having conversations about, is lacing fentanyl. It is certain states have now moved to schedule xylazine. It has not yet been scheduled in the federal government. So these are challenges we face all the time.
I would just also add, there's a huge research potential to unlock if we get this right, and I certainly hope that we do. And I appreciate your commitment to gild the lily at HHS and get that work product in your hand.
So, like I said, they're not finna do nothing with weed right now because all the money it makes them, they gonna have to find something else to tax the people on. Because every country talks about, or every place talks about taxation and stuff like that. They tax us with people on that thing. When they talk about like you're a business and all that stuff like that, like your social security card. Oh yeah, all that stuff's true. You are, but it's whenever you fuck up and you are now property of the state or property of the federal government, and they finna work you to death. G, you finna be a little slave. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta be careful what you out here doing, what people getting you into, and then also when it comes to this weed. Man, just being in a legal state, because I ain't gonna lie, when you go from a state where it's completely illegal, and anything you doing is technically a crime, you feel like a criminal all the time. You're always hiding from the law, all this stuff. But then you go to a state where it's legal and you can do it freely and there's nothing really wrong with it. You can smoke or, drink, you're less likely to actually be committing other crimes because you don't have to meet criminals to go to the store and get weed. You ain't got to go meet a dude that just got in a shootout, over something, and then possibly put yourself in a bad situation. So, if they just, comply and, make it more available for everybody, then most people that aren't really criminals that just want to smoke weed don't have to even see a crime, So, hey, man, if y'all like this content and you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.